on Colonial Sports Center. Football hosted Charleston Southern for homecoming. Here are they and the fans fared on Saturday. Put on your football boots and hear from Brian Akungo of the men's soccer team. And the stars are out here on CSD because Jack is back. Don't forget your cardigan because we're outside here on CSD.
Hello everyone and welcome to the great outdoors for the first ever, outdoor edition of CSC. I'm Tyler Gallo and oh my goodness, is that Jack O'Brien back in business? Jack, welcome back, sir.
No, thank you. I love the warm welcome. I love the shout out earlier. I actually took some time off to get some LASIK eye surgery. It didn't work though, as you can see. Doctors are hacks, don't trust them. Anyways, I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be talking all things Robert Morris, all things Colonial sports. And we can start off with the fact that over the weekend, it was homecoming. You know, we had the Colonials play their homecoming football game, and I'd love to give you more information on that and the whole aspect of homecoming in itself. But CSN had a man on the ground. Nathan Breisinger was behind Colonial lines, and he had the scoop for this year's homecoming weekend.
Hello, Robert Morris University, and welcome back to the annual 2021 tailgate.
Good vibes were spread across the campus of Robert Morris leading up to the homecoming weekend, and it all mounted up to the annual homecoming tailgate and football game. While there may have been some early morning rain, that did not keep students, parents, and alumni from packing the parking lots to celebrate. Students and alumni alike shared their perspective on what homecoming means to them.
Homecoming, it's a good time to get together with all the rest of Robert Morris. It's a great time.
Oh, everything, man. It's good to see all the colors out here. You got everyone back. Even in the rain, we're all out here shining, you know what I'm saying?
The rowdy parking lots brought back a blast from the past and a new sense of unity for younger students.
It's such a change from last year. I'm only a sophomore this year. Freshman year, wasn't a lot going on. This year, it's a lot more. I'm excited to be with everybody. It's crazy.
And for alumni, it's a memory they get to harness once again with friends and other alums on what their time was like at RMU.
Oh, man, it's great. We always meet up for at least a game or two every year, so, you know, it's definitely something to look forward to, I'd say that for sure.
As a celebration ensued at the tailgate, more homecoming activities took place on the field, including homecoming court. And it was all topped off by a Robert Morris victory over Charleston Southern. From the dance on Friday and the tailgate the morning after to the triumph on the football field Saturday, it was a homecoming weekend to remember. For Colonial Sports Center, I'm Nathan Breisinger.
And well, despite all the semantics of the tailgate, there was actually a football game to be played. I don't know if many people there would actually believe that, but there was. I know CSN legends such as Nick Hedrick and Sam Anthony were in attendance at this game. But let's take a look at the highlights from RMU, their homecoming game against Charleston Southern. Bring it up first in the first quarter, first drive of the game. DeAndre Hicks does some acrobatics, gets into the end zone for his fourth touchdown of the year. He's a modern day warrior. He's Tom Sawyer, today's Tom Sawyer that is, and he gets that touchdown to put RMU on the board pretty quickly. We move into the second quarter now. Charleston Southern on the offensive, throws it over the middle, and there is Demetrius Jones. He gets the touchdown and does a little samba in the end zone for the touchdown right there. Take a look at this again. Maybe doing his best Victor Cruz impression, I'm not too sure. Anyways, Charleston Southern on the board with their first TD in the game. Now we move to the fourth quarter now. RMU on offense. Martin rocks back, finds a wide open James Westry who gets in for his first collegiate touchdown. And you see the Dolphin fin there. That's the man they call the Dolphin. Look at this, over the middle. He had a great day. 5 receptions for 98 yards and a TD. Now we move on to a late play in the game. Wide open. Oh, look, that's Lorenzo Uline. He takes it all the way to the end zone. He's partying to the end zone, to the island in the sun. He gets in there. There's some celebration to be had as RMU pulls away here. Look at this, blown route there by the defense. Tip pass maybe. And gets it all the way into the end zone. RMU ends up winning by a score of 31-24. They improve to 2-0 at home in their time in the Big South Conference.
All right, so we've got some stats from this last game. An exciting one nonetheless, especially on the Colonials' homecoming weekend. As you can take a look here, the score being 31-24, but there's more to that story than just the score, Tyler.
That's right, 292 passing yards for George Martin, his biggest passing day of the year. He's a modern-day Chad Pennington, a poor man's Chad Pennington, if you will. He goes out there and makes a nice play, and that 50-yard interception for a touchdown return by Lorenzo Uline really sealed the deal. I mean, Jack Chambers, they limited him the best he could. He still put up almost 400 yards, but it was a good game altogether for RMU.
No, yeah, and again, you're looking at the time of possession here. The Colonials were able to really dictate the pace of this game. They were able to dictate kind of the outcome they really wanted to with those 10, 14, extra minutes of possession time. I'm sure that's the right number. I'm somewhat of a statistician myself. But overall, a good game by the Colonials, a solid game, a great game for homecoming weekend, having people come back, really embrace the culture behind this Colonial team. And the culture behind this Colonial team is something else that Bernard Clark talked about. He's been talking about in the past, and we have more on that, Bernard Clark's thoughts on the game over Charleston Southern and the upcoming matchup against North Alabama.
The thing that really makes him work is him being a fifth-year senior, and it's been his fourth year he's been involved in this offense. He's kind of got a feel of it. He's been kind of our captain on the field, the catalyst behind driving this machine that we have, and he's done a great job of it, especially last week, coming back from behind and being able to pull that thing out. And George, driving down right before half, getting that field goal was huge. And then later on in the game, driving down and punches it in and getting a two-point conversion, George is a big part of that. I played for a coach at the University of Miami. Some of you guys have heard of him, Jimmy Johnson. And the one thing that Coach Johnson preached more than anything was there's 3 phases to every game. If you can win 2 out of those 3 phases, you probably can win the football game. And probably one of the most important phases is the foundation of it, because you got offense and defense, and then the bottom is special teams. If you want to see how good a team is, look at how hard their special teams play, because offense and defense understands the importance of special teams. And guys that want to get on the bus understand the importance of special teams. So we got to continue to push special teams. I'm in meetings all the time. I'm talking with our guys all the time when Coach Alamalo is running special teams meetings. I want them to understand the importance of it and how important it is to win the special teams battle to win a football game. Well, the thing about it, and Coach Plungers and those guys put, like I said, a great game plan together. They always look for a big play. They're going to look for a big play because they have big play receivers. They have great athletes, like I was talking about earlier. The thing with that is try to keep everything in front of you. And we just got to put pressure on the quarterback. I mean, we do a great job up front. Our D-line has done a great job all year of getting pressure on the quarterback and getting him out of his comfort zone. That's just something we're going to have to continue. But it also goes back to North Alabama also plays with 2 different quarterbacks. So it's a situation we got to figure out, okay, this guy going to run more, this guy going to. So, again, it goes back to their personnel. Their personnel is going to be the toughest thing for us to deal with this week because they're such good athletes.
So, RMU is similarly another newer team in this conference is North Alabama. They're taking them on next week, a team that's also been behind the 8 ball, and that's their first night game of the year. Take a look at some of the stats. It's really just been a tough go of things for North Alabama this season, Jack.
No, it really has, and the scoring margin per game is really what stands out here at negative 13.6. I mean, it's not really the best start you'd want, especially in a new conference. This 0-6 and 0-2 record's also kind of posing as a black eye on this North Alabama team, but I think that the more that they get game experience in, that they'll kind of give the Colonials somewhat of a challenge. I think they'll be able to kind of dig down deep, see this as an opponent that they can kind of work with, and I think that maybe it's going to be closer than people think.
Yeah, and it is, and it's not really the best of farewell voyages for North Alabama. They will move to the new ASUN next year, but they put up a really good performance against a team RMU got boat raced by in North Carolina A&T. So we'll take a look at the Big South standings now as we are a couple weeks into the season. As you can see here, RMU is sitting fairly in the middle of the pack. Number 15, Kennesaw State, 1-0 and 4-1 right ahead of them. It's going to be tough for them to catch them. But as you can see here, RMU not having a bad start to their season by any means.
No, not at all. And something that we talked about when they joined the Big South was how the Colonials respond to being the new kids on the block. And we didn't really see an indicative style of player and anything that would have told you a lot about this Colonials team in the Big South with the previous season. It only being, when you're dealing with COVID and you're dealing with so many other things, it's hard to really go into it. I think this is the first, I will say this is the inaugural season, and I think that this season will be much more indicative of how the Colonials will fare in the Big South.
That's right. Then they just can't lose at home, winning their last 6 at Joe Walton Stadium, spanning over the last few seasons. But when we come back, we'll take it to a track interview with Yessi Valencia, and we'll bump set, spike it over to volleyball. We'll see you after the break.
Bring it. Time out, guys. I'm late to dinner. My mom's gonna kill me. Catch you guys later.
Mom wants us home.
Okay. Bye, guys.
You guys need a ride?
Sure. Yeah. All right. How about some one-on-one? I gotta go eat, man. Sorry, I'll see you later.
Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Welcome back out front of the Nicholson Center here on Colonial Sports Center, and we're going to take you to the hardwood as volleyball was in action. They had a couple of games over the past week. They took on their, local foes in Youngstown State, and we'll take a look at what happened in that game. So RMU pulls out in the extra set, 3-2. They get that extra one, 15-13. RMU improves to 4-1 in 5-set matches this season. It's been a pretty good year for volleyball, or a back and forth year for volleyball. And, Paula Gershing did her best, yeoman's work out there, but could not come out on top for the Youngstown State Penguins. It was a hard-fought match, but RMU came out on top in the end.
After promptly marching the Penguins right out of Moon Township, the Colonials set their sights on a more hostile foe in the Milwaukee Panthers. As from comparing the score of this one, it would seem that the Colonials played them as if they were encountering a flightless bird. You'll see in the score that the Colonials lost 3-0. Not an offensively great day for the Colonials at all, taking through the hitting percentages through each set. Milwaukee would hit the first set with a 55% hitting percentage, while the Colonials only had a 7% hitting percentage. You take to the second set is where Milwaukee dipped down a little bit into the 28% with their hitting, but the Colonials mustered a 0% hitting. Not sure how that stat works, but volleyball. So they go to the third set, and the Panthers bumped it down even more to a 25% hitting percentage, but the Colonials would then muster a -3%, leading up to a 1% hitting percentage for the entirety of the match. The Colonials did not lead once in this game, but a record was set through all of these trials and tribulations on the hardwood.
That's right, Jack. And yeah, while it was they had their clocks cleaned, it wasn't all bad, as Emma Granger has broken the all-time blocks record of 463, set by Becky J in 2014. Great volleyball player, continues to further burnish her credentials here at Robert Morris, and what a way to go out by setting 2 records this season.
No, and we've had the pleasure of watching Emma Granger play the entire time that we've been here on the Colonial Sports Network broadcast crew. An incredible talent, an incredible player, and when you're talking about blocking, it's not really just bounce it off you. The balls are coming in hard.
That's right, and it's really just a testament to how good she's been, Jack.
It really is. I do believe that she's one of the best players that RMU volleyball has ever seen, ever will see, and I think the legacy she is leaving behind for underclassmen is really something of a leadership perspective that they can really latch onto and kind of promote this culture that this team can be resilient, this team can go on tears. I mean, as we saw in recent seasons, to where they've gone undefeated up until the postseason. Right. I think she really embodies what it means to be a Robert Morris Colonial on the volleyball court.
That's right. Well, we're going to take it over to Samuel Goldberg, who sat down with Yessi Valencia of the track team. Take it away, Sam.
And while we were talking beforehand, you said that you had a lot of you were working a lot during the off season, and you were you were building your game. What was the process like during the off season to get you prepared for this upcoming season?
So I definitely didn't take a break. I didn't have a summer per se. I had the opportunity to actually throw a little bit with one of the Olympians, Ryan Whiting, over the summer in Arizona for a couple of weeks. Definitely changed a lot of my technique, and definitely also with my previous coach, trained very hard, strength and lifting, because that was definitely a weakness of mine.
How do your teammates feel about you being a leader on the team, and kind of what your goals are towards this season?
So I would definitely say this year has been a little bit of I haven't been quite. I definitely signed to be a captain for this year because I definitely wanted to, show that I have this responsibility and, motivate the girls, because we've been through a lot in the past couple seasons, especially with COVID and such. And the previous leaders were doing a fantastic job, and I just want to keep that same team culture going, keep everyone motivated as we get through this season.
Gotcha. And now, as I stated previously earlier, that you are a senior, what are kind of your plans for after this season? I know you were talking about something about like the Olympics maybe.
Yes, that is one of my dreams. All my friends are in the Olympics, and I feel like that also puts like a little pressure on me to get into the Olympics at this point. I definitely want to train as hard as I can. Hopefully I can keep that motivation going for the next 2 years before the next Olympics. But other than that, I might go into my career and through the Marriott. There's been a couple of changes in regards in the staffing, but I think we all have our best foot forward. I know a lot of us, went into training over the summer because we are, trying to get on top, especially in the Horizon League Conference. We're trying to win. We have more girls. We have more potential, and scoring more points. So, I think, we're getting ready. We're getting ready. We want to bring back more medals, more trophies, more conference.
Thank you, Sam and Yessie, for that. But when we come back, I sat down with the man who's perhaps a big part of the turnaround of men's soccer this season. You won't want to miss it. You're on Colonial Sports Center.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
It took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back here on Colonial Sports Center. And Jack, I just have one question for you.
What's that?
Can I kick it?
I don't know, can you? Are you able to?
May I kick it?
Yes, you may.
All right, well, I'm gone. We're going to move over to women's soccer, who was looking to complete the homecoming sweep as they took on Oakland Golden Grizzlies. Now, could they find a way to finish this sweep, or would they be stuck in the gutter once more? Let's see how they did against the Golden Grizzlies. Picking it up here for Oakland at Robert Morris. It really was just a tough match altogether. You see Oakland wearing those beautiful neon green. There's a quick goal in there early on for the Golden Grizzlies. That's in there, a big score for them. 1-0 quick on, and then again, corner kick here for Oakland. It's going to come right out in front and just a little deposit into the goal there for Oakland again. Really just this team showing that they're the better team in this matchup. And then one more time, another goal for Oakland. They will come out on top by a score of 3-0. Brooke Honeycutt had a goal and an assist in the match.
Well, after the game against Oakland, the Colonials would then take on the Cleveland State in men's soccer at the North Athletic Complex over this past weekend. We'll take you to the highlights to see how the Colonials fared against Cleveland State. Like I previously stated, the North Athletic Complex hosted the Cleveland State Raiders and the Robert Morris Colonials Vikings. My bad, same thing. But here we have a goal early on. It seems that we have a goal, but this goal was disallowed after it was ruled that the Cleveland State keeper had possession before Owen Jowett kicked it in. So now we move into overtime. Scoreless, ball's up. Where's it going to go? It looks like it goes into the net. The Colonials think they've won the game in overtime, but another disallowed goal. So after further review, the referees concluded the ball did not cross the line, and we went to the second overtime where Pablo Kawicki pots the game-winning goal, and the Colonials go down to the Vikings 1-0.
Yeah, and it really was just a tough way to lose that game. Tough pill to swallow, especially a team that was looking for their third straight win for the first time since 2005. Now we're going to take a look over to the women's side, who they took on the people whose profession it is to raid. Take a look as they are on the road in Wright State. As you can see here, the Colonials won in overtime. Kaoru Hayashi goes out there. The Seasons, and well, the Colonials for that matter, don't fear the Raiders in this game. They win by a score of 2-1. Kaoru Hayashi, again, an alley ball, scored that big goal early on, about 6 minutes in. And RMU improves and gets their first Horizon League win of the season.
Men's soccer was also looking to extinguish the flames of UIC in men's soccer. It's a back-to-back-to-back soccer extravaganza, folks. We'll see the outcome of this one right now. And the Colonials will squeeze out a win against the Flames. The game would start off with Ethan Ramito with his second of the season in the 41st minute to kick things off, quite literally. But then UIC would tie it up in the 51st minute, but then Owen Jowett, just about 11 minutes later, would take the Colonials up a score with his second of the season. Cleveland, oh my goodness. UIC would then tie the game again, but the Colonials would prevail in the end with Kelvin Ramirez's first goal of the season and Glenn Glorioso's 9 saves give the Colonials a 3-2 victory in this one.
Now, it's no question that men's soccer has seen marked improvement this season from their offense, as they only scored 1 goal last year. And maybe the man who's behind all that is their current points leader, in Brian Akongo, who currently has 5 on the season. I sat down with him and talked about his path to RMU, as well as how the team looks this season comparing to last year. This season, you got to score your first collegiate goal down in Northern Kentucky, and that helped the win. I mean, against such a good team like Northern Kentucky, how important was that for happening, and how great did it feel to finally get that, I guess, monkey off your back?
Yeah, I mean, like, it was a really tough game. And NKU are a good team. They beat us, well, we played them in the spring, and they beat us 2-0, but we thought for, I say, 70% of the game, we thought we were in it, and we could have easily got a goal and went up. And at that time, we wasn't the team that we are now, or at the time a couple of weeks back. So we were a completely different team to the spring, and even in the spring we were close and we were battling them. So we were very confident that the first game, with the team that we had and the experience we have now, we could get at them, you know, and we did that. You know, I think they were very surprised by how much we improved as a team. The first game, you know, I think the first half we must have had, like, you know, so many runs and counter attacks. They just couldn't handle it, you know. And obviously myself, you know, getting a goal, it's always great to get a goal, you know. You know, I missed a couple chances the game before, so I was a little bit like, damn, I need to score, you know. I need to get a goal, you know. And when I got the goal, I was just like, yes, I finally got the goal. But instantly, so I scored, I celebrated, I was crazy, but instantly I was like, okay, it's 1-0. I know how good NKU are, you know. I know we're still trying to get better as a team. Got to focus, you know. And the game ended 1-0, and they had a couple chances themselves. So yeah, it was great to score a goal, but the main thing was to get the win, clean sheet. You know, it was a perfect away game for me and the team. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a good experience out there, especially against a good team. And yeah, you know, seeing the chances not go your way, and then finally, you know, getting that in must have been nice.
Yeah.
So we've talked so much about from last season to this season. Have you noticed a change in the mindset of the team over these couple of months?
Yeah, definitely. I think for the returners, a lot of experience from the spring, a lot of growth, a lot of learning. You know, I think as a team in the spring we were a bit naive at times. You know, even me myself, you know, not really knowing the level of the college, you know, of the top teams, because obviously it's a new conference that we went into. So a lot of the players, I don't think any of the players played Horizon before spring. So it's a completely new level of play compared to NEC, was it?
Yeah, NEC.
NEC is a completely different level. So yeah, in terms of returners, just experience and growth, you know, we learned that every game's gonna be tough. Every game's gonna be a battle and a grind. So we're just gonna have to be on it, you know, in training, in our preparation, on and off the pitch. We have to be professional to compete with these teams. And I think for the new guys that came in, that came in the fall, just bringing their experiences too. You know, we had a lot of international players come in, you know, from France, Israel, Germany, England, as you said before. So a lot of different cultures, experiences, and I think that's helped us too a little bit, because everyone's bringing in their own, you know, little qualities of play. You know, I don't even think we've actually gelled 100% yet. I feel like there's still a long way to go, but even now you're seeing it. You know, you're seeing the improvements. You know, so you know, it's going to be very dangerous in the next year or so how we all start to gel. You know, and as a team culturally. So yeah, it's very different to.
Well, Jack, you're back in town. You know what's also back?
What's that?
Morrison's Minute. Stay tuned for that after the break.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
You know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center, and it's about time we send it over to CSN's 60-minute sensation, Ethan Morrison, over in the UPMC Events Center. What do you got for us, Ethan?
Welcome to the long-awaited return of Morrison's Minute. We're back. My name is Ethan Morrison. Let's break down my top 3 predictions of the week. So let's get into it. Now, first off, volleyball. They will go undefeated until the next Colonial Sports Center. Now, they got some favorable matchups this weekend against Green Bay on Friday and UIC on Sunday. Wright State will be at home right back here at the UPMC Event Center on Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. That will be one of the toughest matchups of the week, but I think they will be able to pull it out. Now, next, football will defeat North Alabama 24-14 on the road this weekend. Now, last weekend, George Martin went 28 for 41 for 292 yards in the air and 2 touchdowns. They'll have to let him cook in order to beat the Lions on Saturday. Finally, we're at the UPMC Event Center, so Rasheed Dunn will lead the men's basketball team in scoring this season. He averaged 14.3 points per game at St. Francis Brooklyn, and then 10.8 points per game at St. John's in the past 2 seasons. This is the perfect landing spot for Dunn. And, you know, the men's basketball team should have a well on time with him running the point. Whoa! You're out of time. So, that was it for this week's Morrison's Minute. Now, if you want to hear more basketball coverage on my end, go check out colonialsportsnetwork.com or check us out on Twitter at RMU_CSN. I missed it. Man, that is why I cover the sports, not play. We'll see you next week.
Well, let's hope this game that I'm looking forward to this weekend goes better than that shot by Ethan Morrison. I'm going to keep it, a bit personal. It's a bit close to me. Let's take a look at what game I'm looking at, and that game is the RMU D3 club hockey team as we take on Pitt Johnstown this weekend. Hey, look, that's me. And let the record show that Cameron Macariola and Tyler Gallo are point-per-game players. We're going to keep on rolling this Saturday night.
All right, well, mine isn't as personal as Tyler's, but I'm looking forward to the Robert Morris Colonials taking on the North Alabama Lions. And I'm just really excited to see what this team can do in the upcoming games. They're sitting at 2-2 right now. I do think this team is able to climb from the standings. We'll get a good idea of seeing the Colonials take care of business this weekend.
Yeah, taking care of business is exactly what we did tonight, Jack, as it was our first ever outdoor show, and it couldn't have gone better. We had a live studio audience. We had really it was just impressive put together.
It was incredible. I do have to say, though, early in the show I said don't trust doctors. You should trust doctors. Just don't trust people who offer you LASIK eye surgery under a bridge around the hours of 11 to 2 in the morning.
All right, well, Jack, that's all we have for this week. It was a success, and we'll see you next time on Colonial Sports Center. Maybe outdoors, maybe not, but we'll be back. That's for sure. Next Thursday.